Hi, my name is Fadlik. So I'm so excited to be here. So thank you so much for watching. And in a minute, I will be going to tell a story regarding the assessing the effect of tenant management system quality and building management quality towards the tenant satisfaction, a case of Tokyo Marine Life Insurance. So we would like to know what is the effect and what is the level of tenant satisfaction among the tenants in across the Malaysia. The Tokyo Marine Life Malaysia has been established since 1984. It is an established life insurance company with a history of more than 70 years providing the life and wealth management solutions. They are using the Hokkien Bito culture, which means Hokkien is an insurance while Bito means a professional person. Tokyo Marines also engage in insurance business with a high professionalism and a sense of the social responsibility to protect customer by all means. Until today, they already have 16 branches in Malaysia across the Malaysia, including Sabah and Sarawak, and 5,000 agents locally. The gross return with the total asset of the Tokyo Marine Life is 9.06 billion with the gross return revenue of RM 1.32 billion. Okay, that is the year that the Tokyo Marine have been established in Malaysia, 1948. So the vision and mission will be to be a good company, to look beyond profit and empower our people together with the deliver on commitment. Tokyo Marine Services and Products. Tokyo Marine Services and Product, they offer a various products such as wealth accumulation, which is securing the client financial freedom, family protection, retirement, which is providing a carefree for golden years, including medical insurance, which they will provide and taking charge of needs and peace of mind, education for child future to ensure the children will be funded to university, the corporate solution, providing the life insurance for the staff under the employee benefit scheme. This is the organizational chart for the Tokyo Marine Life, including the property department. Okay. So this is the main title. The title comes in with the assessing the effect of the tenant management system quality and building management quality towards the tenant satisfaction, a case of Tokyo Marine Life Insurance Malaysia. Issue identification. So the issue is Tokyo Marine Life Property Department is facing several issues, including the rent arrears, and they are not having a proper communication with tenant and keep staying organized as they are not using the existing tenant management system. So they are oftenly work against the manual calculation and manual key in throughout the computer in an all-day task. So the question is, what is the important element of property management service that tenants are looking for or to be satisfied? The author in 1998 says that wants and needs theory also tells that instead of tenant, the landlord should ask the right question to determine which service they need and can afford toward their tenant. As the years after years, the demanding tenant is overwhelming in their perceived expected list that is list to them. So the question is, what is the element that is very important to the service that a tenant looking for to satisfy themselves? Here comes the issue identification. The property managers, including Tokyo Marine Property Department, manually performing such business operation as tracking rent, payments, and managing maintenance, are consuming and often overwhelming the department. Thus, this study is interested to investigate the level of satisfaction among Tokyo Marine tenants towards the building management quality and tenant management quality. Research objective, there is the three research objective, which the first one is to identify the level of the satisfaction among the tenants toward the building quality management and tenant management quality by the Tokyo Marine Life. Next is to assess the effect of the building management quality towards the tenant satisfaction. And lastly, to provide the recommendation for the Tokyo Marine on how to manage its multi-tenant without hassling and time-consuming to maintain the satisfaction among the tenant. The research question comes like this. So, we would like to know what is the level of satisfaction among the tenants toward the building quality management and tenant management quality, which is TMQ by the Tokyo Marine Life, which is the landlord. Next is, what is the effect of the building management quality, the tenant management quality toward the tenant satisfaction? So this is differ from the first one because we would like to know what is the effect between the variable toward the dependent variable. So the third one is, what are the possible recommendation on the problems in managing their multi-tenant that can be provided to the Tokyo Marine Life Property Department? So the scope of study has been conducted in all contracting with the Tokyo Marine across Malaysia. So how about the duration? The duration of this company is taking 5 months of the internship program. The population of this study is the tenant of the Tokyo Marine, including company, enterprise, parking and agencies. Hence, the sample size of this study have been provided is 200 respondents. Factor that is being investigated in this study are whether the tenant meets its basic requirement and rental history. The data collected was analyzed using the Microsoft Excel. The analysis were descriptive analytic, correlation, and regression analysis. Research have been approved by the several literature review, such as Beamish in 1997. They state that the satisfaction toward housing that is related to dwelling units is apparent from the building condition and the features manifest in the buildings. This view was further supported by McRae and Day, who mentioned that housing construction is rarely referred to the needs and type of family who are going to inhabit the house, whereas these criteria are critically in the establishment of human habitats. Another researchers have been stated that there is a classified building condition and features as a dwelling subsystem to the human habitat that influence the level of satisfaction. For example, the detached house, terrace house, and flat given different level of satisfaction to their residents. What is tenant management quality? According to the property, whereas a property manager, the ability to keep quality tenants significantly impacts the property manager business. Another thing is, the fortune builder also state that regardless if you have a one single family property for all your 35 unit, the quality of tenant will dictate how successful you are. Another thing is, by maintaining the quality properties with excellent property management practice, you'll be able to attract and keep your quality tenant. The tenant satisfaction is the level of satisfaction toward the housing differ according to the type of dwelling occupied by the household. Studies have been done in 3 local authorities administrative area in London during the London Housing Study in 2001 found that the tenant living in a high flat most often feel the problem. Another thing is, they found that the housing characteristics are critical factor in determining housing satisfaction as compared to the residents' demographic. And they found that the shifting will be occur if the residents are not satisfied with the house that they are residing in. Research methodology. The methodology used in this research is primary data. The source include the survey, observation, and questionnaire. The population of this study is the tenant of the Tokyo Marine, including company, enterprise, parking, and agencies. Hence, the sample size of the study have been provided is 200 respondents. The types of data that used in this research is a primary data source, including survey, observations, and questionnaire. What about the data analysis? By using the Excel descriptive analysis to seek for mean, median, and mode score for the variables including correlation and regression, which will be explained further in the finding and analysis. Finding and analysis. So this is the interesting part. So the nature of the business. As shown, 60% of the respondent is operating under the private limited, followed by 13% by small business which operate under the enterprise and kiosk, and only 4% of respondent is under the private residential, while the others is 23%, which means the respondent is under the parking and agencies contract. Here comes the period of the contract, comes from the questionnaire. While there is some variation in the type of the business, 96% of the respondents have been contracting with Tokio Marine for a range of 1 to 5 years, followed by 18% that have been contracting with Tokio Marine for range of 6 to 10 years, and 12% of the respondents is contracting with Tokio Marine for less than 1 year. However, there are 1% of the respondents contracting with the Tokio Marine for more than 10 years. How about the rental paid to the landlord, to the Tokio Marine Life Insurance? So the overall pie chart represents the amount rental paid to the Tokio Marine. So as you can see from the pie chart, 41% with the range of 5 to 10,000, 30% from 5 to 10,000, 15%, 12% of the respondent is paying 10 to 20,000, and only 2% is paying more than 20,000. This is because the amount rental is affected by the amount per square feet that they have been used. So the mean is the average of the data, which is the sum of all of the observation divided by the number of observation. The mean for this research is very satisfied for the tenant, and for the minimum quality is 4.29. Very satisfied with the tenant management quality with the score of 4.18, and very satisfied 4.45 by the tenant for the tenant satisfaction. So the median for this research is 4, and the median for the tenant management quality is 4, and while the tenant satisfaction data is 5. As the median is almost similar, the data above is symmetric. How about the mode? The mode for the BMQ is 5, the mode for TMQ is 4, while the tenant satisfaction is 5. So these are the numbers that occur the most frequent in the set of the observation. The hypothesis would be the building management quality resulting from the good service quality like maintenance, cleaning, and availability of a common room will give a positive impact on tenant satisfaction. The other hypothesis, which is hypothesis number 2, is the TMQ, which provide the rental solution and a low time taken to answer their problems, swift response, and good understanding on their agreement will give a positive impact on the tenant satisfaction. Here are the asked questions. Correlation. The correlation is used to measure the strength and the direction of the associate between the two variables. The correlation for the BMS and the TMS is the 0.43, while the BMS versus TS is 0.46, and the BMS versus TS is 0.525. So the relationship between all of the variable and TS is not more than 0.6, which means the relationship between the variables is moderately correlated between each other. This is the regression. So the R2 of the percentage of the variation responded is explained by the model. The regression calculation above. The R squared is 0.34, which means 34% of the tenant satisfaction is explained by the PMQ and the TMQ, while the 66% is explained by other variables. The analysis comes with the hypothesis 1, at least one beta is not 0. So the p-value shown for the intercept, variable 1 and 2 is less than the significant level, which is 0.005, which means the sample data is providing a sufficient evidence to conclude that We reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternate hypothesis. So, we have come to the discussion. So, what is the discussion? So, the discussion. On average score, by using descriptive analysis, the tenant is very satisfied, 4.29 for the building management quality, and very satisfied, 4.18 with the tenant management quality, and very satisfied for the tenant satisfaction. The second discussion states that the null hypothesis evaluated from the correlation state that there are no relationship between the two variables being studied. The discussion number 3, by using the regression, book variable is only explaining only 35% of the tenant satisfaction toward the Tokyo Marine life, and which means has a little direct relationship toward the tenant satisfaction. The fourth discussion comes reveal the demand from the tenant in the property management and the challenge to the landlord to achieve high satisfaction in the building in Malaysia. So here comes the recommendation. So answering the third research question, the study provides a recommendation to Tokyo Marine Life. So the recommendation is to change the manual work into the fully systematic software offered by the system provider in Malaysia. This is because property management is heavily weighted with administrative tasks, paperwork, and showing off the properties to prospective tenant. Another thing is, the beneficiary of the systematic tenant management system is now very affordable and is at the benefit of potentially saving a huge amount of time and money, beside keeping all the information about tenant and contractor in one place. So, for the conclusion, this research revealed the demand from the tenant property management and challenged the landlord to achieve high satisfaction level in building in Malaysia. So, meticulously analyze of the variables to understand their degree of influence on tenant satisfaction. So, research from the Sullivan claimed that the physical attribute of the property are more influential on tenant retention. In agreement, we also uncovered from this research that human interaction and the service are equally important. So, the significance of the study will be useful to the following group of individuals, including facility manager, landlord, tenant, asset management team, and a service provider. Okay, by answering this internship report question, by assessing the quality of the primary data itself, I made for the methodology that I chose. Therefore, this issue will address effectively by critically assessing the validity of the source. To summarize this, by completing my internship report and making a presentation with UITM, following my BBA Horns insurance, has successfully utilized my energy and knowledge expanded to the level of readiness to connect to the full-time industry and workforce. Lastly, I have gotten a set of proficient and individual pickups as a result of completing of the internship report and making introduction that also includes the embracement of my thinking, improvement, and time management, and also boost my self-confidence. Thank you.